The Falcons have decided to change is needed. They have made a change at the quarterback position a day after barely beating the worst team in the NFL, The Atlanta Falcons coach, Raheem Morris, refused to endorse Kirk Cousins. And then later on in the day, on Tuesday night, Atlanta time, the announcement came down that rookie Michael Penix Jr., former Indiana Hoosier, former Washington Husky, will be the new starting quarterback. Come on down, Michael Penix. You're the starting quarterback. So that means, if you do the math on this, Kirk Cousins does the walk of shame, heading to the bench with his tail between his legs. This follows a weak-ass performance on Monday Night Football and a series of El Stinko performances. Now, many are saying, why didn't this happen a long time ago? The Falcons are now setting Michael Penix Jr. up for what's known, if it was like a restaurant, it would be a soft launch. When you start a restaurant, they tell you you don't want to start, if you're your breakfast joint, you don't want to start, in the rush hour of the breakfast crowd. You want to do it, randomly, serve lunch or something on a Wednesday when there's not, and don't announce you're doing it. It's a soft launch against an equally terrible team, the New York Giants, who are in a dogfight. And I do mean dogfight, dog with fleas, with the Raiders to try to get that number one overall. Number one. That's where we are. So let us discuss the question. Why now? Why are the Falcons benching Kirk Cousins now in favor of the rookie Michael Penix Jr.? So I've got Ace of Base, U-Haul, and VHS. And we will combine all of these things together. And we are going to give you a cup. And you should be very excited about that, because I saw people celebrating in Vegas like they won something meaningful because they got a little cup. How pathetic is that? All right, so let us discuss. I've got Ace of Base, U-Haul, and VHS. So, let's start with Raheem Morris and the timing of this. And after a minutes-long Maller investigation, I have determined that Raheem Morris did not make this decision. Well, he's the head coach. He's got to make the decision. The head coach makes the decision. No. We suspect that this came from the upper balcony, the corner office there, that Kirk Cousins, who has been puking in his mouth for the better part of 2 months in Atlanta, and now all of a sudden, with 3 weeks to go in the regular season, the home stretch, now you say, all right, we're going to make a change here, put rookie Michael Penix Jr. We're going to pull the plug on Cousins. The math ain't mathing on this. It's more likely than not that owner Arthur Blank put down a 2x4 from Home Depot and stepped in, playing a soundtrack, a little Ace of Base there that Coach Raheem Morris listened to. I saw the sign. Blank gave the old wink, right? Wink and a nod. What a waste of money. What a tremendous waste of money for a guy that has now fallen out of favor. The Falcons will end up paying, by the time the year ends in a few days here, well, plus a game or two after this year in January, but by the time football season ends for the Falcons, they will have paid Cousins $62.5 million dead presidents in 2024. So what does this kind of money get you in the NFL in the year of our Lord 2024? So that gets you a 36-year-old quarterback with a body that is apparently falling apart, a completion percentage less than 65%, 18 touchdowns, a league-high 16 interceptions, and a league-high 12 fumbles, tied for the most fumbles in the NFL. He couldn't even make it to the finish line without being benched. And remember, the front office and the coaching staff would have preferred to continue to roll Cousins out there, because now the clock really starts on Raheem Morris. If Michael Penix Jr. goes out there and rides the vomit comet in these final 3 games of the regular season, that is a direct reflection on Raheem Morris, because these other rookie quarterbacks, for the most part, have done pretty well, or at least held their own for the most part, and you had all season having Penix Jr. sitting on the sidelines waiting for him to learn how to play, allegedly, and watching practice. And then if he's not ready when you toss him out there, that is a reflection on the coaching of Raheem Morris not getting him up to speed. Now, page 2. What does the future in the NFL look like for Kirk Cousins at this point? So it's obviously cloudy, right? A little foggy. It's like that thick Louisiana fog, even though it's in Georgia, for Kirk Cousins. Now, he's going to be getting a new wardrobe because this was a wardrobe malfunction for Kirk Cousins. His days with the Falcons winding down. Outside of injury or total incompetence by Michael Penix Jr., Cousins has started his final game in Georgia. That's it. He'll be packing up his boxes, putting them in a U-Haul. And where does he end up? He'll be traveling down the dusty Winnemucca Road. The structure of Kirk Cousins' contract, where he's getting most of the money this year, the contract makes him a tradable asset. Granted, it's a diminishing asset for the Atlanta football team. Cousins is making, by NFL standards, this is how cartoonish the NFL is. By NFL standards, Cousins will be bringing in $27.5 million next year. That's all the guaranteed money he's got left on his contract. Can you say 1-year rental, Band-Aid quarterback? By NFL standards, that's a bargain. It's more of a liquid Band-Aid in your quarterback room. But scanning around the NFL, I thought we would dust off the Maller wheel of speculation. And we'll spin the wheel of speculation, the Maller wheel of speculation on where Kirk Cousins is going to end up. It's just never too soon, even at this unearthly hour. It is never too soon to spin the Maller wheel of speculation. So the Maller wheel of speculation goes round and round and round and round and round and round. Big money, and stop. Stop. All right, the Maller wheel of speculation has indeed stopped. I've got cowboy boots, gumbo, and the Jersey Shore. So that would be the Titans. Little country music, Grand Ole Opry. They don't have a quarterback. More on that in a minute. So the Titans need a quarterback. That's a non-divisional opponent. The Saints are a little more dicey. That's the gumbo. You could trade Cousins to New Orleans because you think he sucks and you just want to you want to put a big pile of rotting ham on top of the Saints. And then the Jersey Shore, not the good part of the Jersey Shore, but the shore over there near the Meadowlands complex where the Giants and Jets play, they don't have quarterbacks either. So those teams will be changing quarterbacks. Cousins my math is correct here, he'll be 37, coming off a disastrous season, but thanks to the supply chain shortage, he will find a gig, and the Falcons will get pennies on the dollar. Pennies on the dollar in return. Now, last word. We mentioned the Tennessee football team and the Titans. Remember the Titans? Yeah, well, you try to forget the Titans, but they will be in the market for a quarterback. We have learned that they also have pulled the plug on the Mayo quarterback, Will Levis. He's not gone, but he's gone as a starter. Backup quarterback Mason Rudolph, just in time for the Christmas holiday. Mason Rudolph, the red-nosed quarterback, will be under center in the Music City this coming weekend. But the story here is Will Levis, I believe was a third-round pick a couple years ago. Will Levis has now been benched in Tennessee. Did he get a raw deal? No, absolutely not, please. His performance, obscene. He plays in the Bible Belt. That is obscene. It was patently offensive. He absolutely single-handedly destroyed the Titans' chances of winning. 24 points Cincinnati scored directly or indirectly off of mistakes by the aforementioned Will Levis. And that was the story all year. Will Levis started 11 games, 2-9 as a starter. He had as many interceptions as touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 12 touchdowns. 4 of those interceptions were returned for touchdowns, including one this past week against the Bengals, beaten and broken, B&B, not M&M, B&B, beaten and broken, Will Levis, who has proved beyond a shadow of a doubt, any reasonable doubt, that he is not an NFL starter. Now, one thing he has done, though, is proven that every once in a while, the scouting report coming out of college is spot on. So I went back to my notes, because I'm a loser, and I went back to my notes from the NFL draft, and I'd compiled some of the scouting reports from Will Levis and his time in the Southeastern Conference at Kentucky. And these were the concerns for Will Levis going into the NFL. I'm quoting this off the scouting report. It said, throws lots of interceptions, has no feel as a passer and in the pocket, holds the ball way too long, often stares down his primary read, and it also said poor decision-making. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. Now, it's not all bad news. I'm going to be Benny Brightside here. I will be Benny Brightside. Because one thing Will Levis managed to do in a short time in the NFL, very unmemorable time in the NFL, but one thing he was able to do was become a throwback to a simpler time. Go back 30-some years ago, maybe even longer than that, to the days of VHS tapes in the NFL. Will Levis leaves behind an archive, a sizzle reel worthy of a modern-day super-duper football follies video. A one-man football blooper reel. Endless blooper plays. Fumble here, deflected or bobbled pass over there, slipping and falling. Just general disorganization by Will Levis on a weekly basis. And he made it all the way here to 3 weeks ago before the end of the regular season, before the Titans finally said no mas. That's it. So the Titans franchise continues to blow, and now they'll be back in the quarterback market yet again. But we knew they were going to be there anyway because Will Levis can't play. We could have told you that about a month ago, or maybe 2 months ago, that he couldn't play, and they decided to wait until the very end, and now here we are. Anyway.